Hi everybody and welcome to a new video. We have been always taught that music can be major or minor. We have the major scale, we have the minor scale, and the major is happy, the minor is sad. And a lot of our music has been stuck between those two. But sometimes we hear music that doesn't feel either happy or sad. It can be euphoric, it can be dark, it can be hopeful. There are many other feelings that can be also conveyed within music. And how do you achieve those feelings? How do you achieve something that is neither happy or sad, that is maybe optimistic? That's where we get into modes. When you go into shift and notes, you have something that is in key, and then you have G in this case, and then you have major, minor, Dorian, Lydian, Lydian, Phrygian, Locrian. In major, we already know that's happy. And minor, it's sad. We have, for example, Phrygian, that feels more like dark, more painful. So this scale is neither happy or sad. Maybe it's more towards the sad side, but it's not like sad, it's something different. What makes them different from the major scale or from the minor scale, it's the distance between each notes. You know that between this and this, there are 12 semitones, but there are actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 notes. So if you can only fit 7 notes within a scale, there are only 2 halftones. And depending on where they are gonna give a different feeling to the scale. So in this case, we are in Phrygian, that is sort of dark. But if we go, for example, to Lydian, we are gonna be working on Lydian, this feels more like great, hopeful. And you have this. So this, from here to here, there is a whole tone. From here to here, there is a whole tone. From there to there is a whole tone. And now there's the half tone. So the halves are here. But depending on where they are situated across the scales, then it's gonna feel differently. And I don't want to get too much into theory. You can go into this website that I'm going to link down below. It's a great resource from Ableton to understand better how the modes work. I know this might sound a little bit too complicated, so let's just jump into making some beats and hope for the best. I'm using only Ableton Move stock sounds for this. I like a lot this kit. I like very chill house music, so that's what I'm doing, and that's the kind of sounds that I like. So let's put a 4 in the floor, and then let's play some chords in the G Lydian. This is, by the way, the preset called Phrygian. It has some aftertouch thingy. If I press harder. Okay, let's record these 2 chords. Let's quantize it. Let's quantize that information. Let's record that. It's not really a sidechain compressor, but if you play with the cutoff, then it kind of feels like it. Now we can maybe copy and paste this pattern into here. Record that. quantize. Nice. So now let's maybe focus a bit more on the percussion. My lady just brought me some food. You have many options here. You can try to create like a very ambient kind of thing, like just playing chords. If we stay within the G Lydian, which I recommend you do, to make this style of electro, like lo-fi kind of house, chill, I recommend not putting too many notes, and everything is about finding balance. So in this case, let's just, for example, you know, something silly, something like and everything is about introducing new elements with taste. You can't go too crazy at the beginning. Now, for example, we can add to these drums, you can add a little hat. If you want it to be more mechanic, you can leave it at, you know, the good old you know, little by little. Then if you feel like one of the parts is getting too repetitive or too annoying, like I'm feeling with the yellow track, you just remove. You can jam your way into the music that you want to make, but it's okay to just be repetitive with some parts. The thing about Ableton Move is that you can automate many things very easily. So if you like something you did, you can just, you know, commit it with using this button. One way I recommend you do that, especially if you play notes, is pre-recording an empty pattern. Like for example, I can do here. I can, you know, just record an empty pattern. And now, when I play, it's only gonna remember the last time I played through that pattern. But if I leave it free, and then I commit something that I've been playing, it might not commit the number of bars that I wanted to commit. Let's commit that. You see, it only committed the last part I played. You can also change the length, and, you know, play something else in the second bar. But I think it's important to at least know how long you want the pattern to be, because then you can jam more freely and know when you can commit something, and it's not a surprise how many bars it recorded. So just a piece of advice. Now that we are playing in Lydian modes, maybe you could think, okay, let's move on into, you know, let's, for example, say that let's go into G minor or Dorian, why not? But if you just have those notes, it feels kind of out of place. And why is that? Why? This feels too different. And you can always modulate parts of the song. You can maybe try to have some kind of transition from that. You know, the bass is G, so that's fine. Let's have 2 bars maybe. Yeah, 2 bars. Well, let's jam it. Let's say that you have something like that and you want to go from the Lydian you had it's not impossible, but you need to try to make it smooth. If it's like an abrupt change, I mean, of course it's up to taste and you might like it, but it's not my piece of cake. Okay, but just letting you know that you don't have to choose between sad and happy. There are many other options, and that is using modes. So explore those modes, and even if it sounds weird at the beginning, try to find a way to make it work within your workflow, because you know, I've always been kind of stuck into using either major or minor, but still I think it's a very useful tool to use in your productions. So thank you very much for watching, and see you in the next one. Bye.